Welcome to another webinar from onewebstrategy.com. Thank you for joining us again. OneWeb Strategy. I try to put up lots of good stuff about life, about marketing, about business. Nothing for sale here. You don't even have to opt in to read this stuff. It's just free good stuff. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from people and encouraging things, and people want to hear more suggestions. That's really cool. I appreciate that to everyone that's already done that. If you haven't, please read this stuff. Ask me for more information. Ask me about a certain subject you want to hear about. Mostly marketing, mostly life, inspirational stuff, and this is one thing I've created, Words to Live By. I've done another video or so about Words to Live By. Real quick, I did this series with my daughters when they were young, made up a workbook, made up a bunch of words to live by that I thought were important as a father to two daughters. What are some values and some words that I really want them to understand? Maybe honesty, whatever, perseverance, persistence, hard work, all that stuff that you hope to instill in any child as they're growing up. It's Words to Live By was something that came naturally to me, and I just kept going on with it as they were infants and young kids. When they got to an age where they could read a little bit and understand a little bit more, I made up two workbooks with a kind of a coil binder so they could open it on the table. On the top of each page was kind of the word, a quick definition, and lots of room underneath. And we would talk usually at the dinner table or somewhere and talk a little bit about it, and I asked them what they thought it was, and I asked them to take notes, and often they came up with some really good ideas. Kids say the darndest things, but they also say some very wise things as children. And then I'll sometimes ask them to draw a picture or something like that. Sometimes, obviously, when we started off, it was in crayon and very primitive, and as they got older, they had some better drawings and ideas. It's been great. And, we don't always do it, and we should catch up, and we're behind a little bit, and but it's a great experience, and with good memories for down the road, and I hope to maybe show you some of those pages as we move on too. But I'll tell you what, as an adult, we know all this stuff. We know about today's word to live by, which is acceptance. But you know what? We all need reminded, right? We all need to practice it more. So I want to share this with you. I've shared this with my family and friends, and I want to do it with you. So the first word to live by is acceptance. I was talking with a friend who's struggling with the situation, and he was fighting it. We've all done that. We're probably all doing that at some level in our life. And he's in a jam, and it seemed like there are limited options. Maybe there are, maybe there aren't. But it reminded me of some vivid times that I felt that I left a safe job, and I started working for another business owner. The business owner and I seemed to click up ahead, in front, and we were both excited, and lots of potential and different things were going on. I was kind of to be the junior partner of sorts, learn from him, and eventually kind of take over. We're all excited, and we all started to work hard. Then things changed. There were some promises made that changed again and again, or some things were just not fulfilled, promises broken, whatever it was. The atmosphere became hostile, contentious, payments weren't made on time, he changed the rules, and I felt victimized. I got angry, I got hurt, it made me physically ill, it hurt me in my family life a little bit, it hurt me with my friends, and I went to parties, and I was thinking this inside my head, so I wasn't really interacting with people on the right level. I know I passed up business opportunities because of it. I know I passed up jobs opportunities because of it, which was funny because I was starting to send out resumes and looking for a plan B option for my career. But all the while, because I was in this state of mind, I know I was missing good opportunities. And I'd even have an interview with someone, and I was just in a bad state of mind, and I wouldn't go further in the process. So in my personal and financial life, I spent most of my time thinking how he wronged me, and what about if I lost my job, paying for my mortgage? And I started looking for jobs that I knew wouldn't be appealing to me, but I was looking for them to be appealing. Some kind of safe, cushy, whether government job or some other kind of job that I would probably not like within a year or something like that. I was so tense and stressed, and honestly, it was one of the most embarrassing, the toughest times in my life in many different ways. I felt like less of a man because I wasn't really doing what I wanted to for my family. But most of this was in my head. Most of this, my wife really didn't feel that way. She knew I was under pressure and she wanted things to be better for all of us, sure. Many of my close friends and relatives knew this too, and they wanted things to be better for me. But a lot of this was in my own head, as many of our things are in life, right? So then one day I kind of said it was simply enough, and I was reading some stuff, and I knew I was missing moments with my daughters and my wife, and I wasn't engaged. I wasn't present. I told you I was getting physically ill, and I knew it was bad for my health long term. So I knew one thing. I kind of just happened to read something really quick in a passing article. It was really unrelated about how you have to accept things in science or something like that. Accept the proof, and that really doesn't have to do with our discussion today, but it triggers something. I remember reading lots of different books how you have to accept the situation, accept where you are, take responsibility for it. Doesn't mean you have to accept where you are in life and just lay down and die. No, you have to accept where you are before you can move ahead. Okay, I'm in this position with my employer. I'm in this job. I'm in this financial situation. I'm in this spot. Take responsibility for it. I put myself there. I made decisions to go there. Sometimes it seems like we don't, but often we make choices in life that get us in spots. And sometimes it's tough to take responsibility for it, but accept where you are. It's simple, but it's hard. Like many simple things, it can be hard, and we make them harder. I took responsibility for it. I kind of took a breath, took some days just to think about it, let it sink in, and then it kind of changed my state of mind. I felt calmer. My wife even kind of noticed it right away. I took some action steps, and I kind of made a little bit of a plan for some other things, and I moved ahead. The situation really didn't change, but boy, my attitude towards it did. I even brought some new business for the current employer that I wasn't really happy with. I was a little bit happier with him. He was a little bit happier. Brought in some new business, so that helped that situation. I moved ahead, and I almost kind of let go of that earnest, panicky need to move on. But guess what? Things did improve. I became less picky and concerned about the future. And then an opportunity came, and it's something I could not have probably thought about. I could not have really considered. It was a surprise. It was a new thing, at least to me at that time. It felt like the opportunity started out there in the world about the same time when I accepted things. I didn't come to know about it till probably months later, but I remember it was in the month of March, that I kind of accepted things and said, okay, this is where I am. And then I found out about the opportunity months later, but boy, when I found out when the time period, it was almost the same week that they decided to open this opportunity up, and I was able to take advantage of it. I'm not a big acceptance kind of guy. I don't talk about this. This isn't something I preach. It's something, is a big deal to me, but it did help, and I feel it's necessary. I was swimming against the current, and I was really draining my energy and my spirit. Acceptance took me with the current, and I could finally get moving. Deepak Chopra has lots of good books out there, and some of them a little esoteric and fluffy for me, but I tell you what, there's one good book I recommend. It can be a quick read, and you can read it over and over again. And whether you're spiritual, whether you're business, whether you're really motivated, or you're just kind of go with the flow kind of person, all the above kind of fit. 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. He says a lot of different subjects out there, but acceptance is a key item. And there's one law in there called the law of least effort. In short, what that is if you look at nature, the law of least effort is expressed lots of different ways in nature. Things just happen in nature almost seemingly without effort. I mean, even just simply grass growing. I mean, there's really doesn't seem like there's a lot of effort there. Things we do in our body are just natural, but they go by the laws of nature, and it seems like little or no effort occurs when those happen. And think about it in our lives. A lot of us call it the zone, whether in the zone at work, in the zone with your family or friends. You're just acting natural. Obviously, in sports, things come naturally almost. There's so much little effort to do things, and man, things are just happening. That's kind of the same thing. There's a few things that you need to do, or need to happen, I should say, for the law of least effort to come about, and acceptance is one of them. Chopra says, "Today I will accept people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur." Furthermore, he says, "This moment is as it should be." And this is a culmination of all the experiences and moments you had in the past. This moment is as it is because the entire universe is as it is. When you struggle against this moment, you're actually struggling against the entire universe. And if you believe such, you're struggling against God. If you believe that. Instead, you can make the decision that today you will not struggle against the whole universe or God by not struggling against this moment. It is okay for you to wish or want things to be different in the future. It's okay to want to improve yourself or your life around you. But first, you have to accept things as they are now today. And gratitude is a part of this too. I won't get into it, but furthermore, Chopra says that, and it's a good reminder, when you feel frustrated or upset by a person in life, like that owner, like, maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's your in-law, maybe it's whatever, remember, you're not acting to that person or situation. Your feelings are about that person or situation. These are your feelings, and your feelings are not someone else's fault. It's how you react. If they say or do something bad against you, you don't have to take that gift. Some people call it gift. I think it's Wayne Dyer that says, that's a gift. You don't have to unwrap. All right, thank you. Here, I'll set it here on the floor, and maybe I'll give it to someone else. Maybe I'll throw it away. Maybe I'll just never unwrap it. Lots of good things out there. Acceptance is something I think a lot of us in this world forget about. We're moving ahead. The technology distracts us. The society, the commercials, the media. We want something better. We're not happy where we are today. With accept where we are. Yes, you can say, I want this instead. Alright, this is where I am. Let's live in the present for a minute. And let's really look at this. Often we can learn things from the moment. Here's another one that really didn't seem like it was related right away, but the more I thought about it, it does discuss acceptance. It's kind of a funny little quote to leave you. Mike Dooley publishes TUT.com, and he's an author, has many books out there. They're worth reading too. His quote is, "In a slightly different world, if dogs believed in soulmates when it came to choosing their owners, can you imagine how lonesome most would be?" Oh, there's definitely room for picky, but there's also room for surprise me. Kind of what I'm thinking is, a lot of us are very picky about life, and sometimes maybe it's better to say, hey, surprise me, let's see what comes. And it also is about what we have today. Alright, I am surprised. I accept where I am. I accept the surprise. And I'm not going to be picky about this moment because I know it got me here. It's going to get me to where I am tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Pass along the word, onewebstrategy.com.